Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend. So I went and did the research, I went and watched the old videos, and it turns out that this quest does just want us to raise a city center and a district that are not currently level 2 to level 2. They don't need to be new ones, as in built after you get this quest. So that means we probably are doing our settle down here in Uska, is it? Morris. Uska's over there. Oh yeah, we are doing our settle probably in northern Morris just for safety. And I'm a little torn about this. Like, maybe we will just settle down right on top of the dies and test whether or not... I guess if I'm going to do that, if we're going to test whether or not destroying this extractor and then rebuilding it will finish the quest, we should do that right now, right? Let's give it a try. This is a time when we can learn a thing. Rebuild the wine extractor, because if this does work, then we probably do actually want to build this city right on top of the dye deposit, right? This is the best tile in the northern part of this region. Okay, and we did this, so they'll be pacified at the beginning of next turn. We do not see... Let's see here. Okay, yeah. The AI often... it sort of completely refreshes its mental state when you load the game. So apparently they decided that all of these units should be doing other things elsewhere. That's pretty good for us. So it is worth noting that, like, now that we have peace with purple, the situation is very different, right? It was the case that I was keeping a lot of units in Arindla because we needed them there. If purple had decided to attack us and we had lost what was, at the time, probably our most productive city, even better than the capital, it probably would have spelled the end of the game. Like, the units couldn't just be somewhere and come over to respond. They needed to be in Arindla. Now that that's not the case, we have all these guys, we have some more options. We have to get some units into the garrison at Maswaram. Obviously, that's really important. But with Maswaram being relatively tougher, or they could be in Yith. With Maswaram being as tough as it is, we could probably survive a turn of siege. We have some options with these guys. I'm not sure what we're going to do with them. We don't necessarily need to have them all sitting in a garrison. We'll figure it out. Alright, is there anything else we need to do on this turn? I don't think so, right? We don't really have any luxury resources to speak of, so nothing to spend before we put down our third city. We are 2 turns away from being able to do that. Okay, this is the plan. Oh, hey, I should be building stuff in my cities. Sure, that's fair. That's a fair read of the situation. So do we want to just build a Dakari Ranger? I mean, a district out here gives us the ability to jump up the cliff, which is pretty valuable, and gets us a pretty high yield. Another forest tile plus an anomaly. It'll drop our approval, but not below 100. Or not below fervent. So yeah, that's a reasonable thing to build there. In Maswaram, we're going to want to start building burrows as well. We need to start leveling things up. So we need to level up the city center and a district. The easiest way to do that is probably going to be to build here, 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 and here. And then we probably will just build a long, narrow shape down the rest of the river. But for right now, like, making the city into a sort of a triangle shape. Because obviously we have no intention of building out into this narrow strip of land on the other side of the lake. And this first build is actually really good. Gets us another forested river tile, which is 5 points of resources, and gets us all the extra dust from the lake. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Alright, I think we are in a really good position internally. Now it's just a matter of hoping that we survive Pink's potential attack, right? They have a lot of units moving near our border. They're a generally aggressive faction, and it's possible they don't have anyone else to be aggressive against. We don't know where Blue is. So Blue could be somewhere. Hey, guys, you have orders. Like, you should keep moving. It's possible that Blue is on their other side and would give them something else to fight with. Let's go ahead. I guess I can't really I can't enter in the colonize command because the colonization button is not lit up while you are in a region that you already own. As you can see, we have the 2 extra points of movement here due to survival instinct. We don't really have a whole lot to do with them, sadly. We could run in and attack the Kazandi village just for XP. Doesn't seem great. Alright, dust gives, dust takes. Sorry, what is this quest? What am I supposed to be doing here? I am returning to this... returning to this ruin and getting free units. Sure. I'm down with that. You guys should probably get out of Purple's territory, though. So, these units are interesting. You can see they're technically mercenaries. The thing about units of types that we do not have access to building, such as our free Nidya and over here our free, in the proper army, our free Kekators, is that we have no ability to retrofit them, so their stats are always going to be very bad. As the rest of our army updates, hopefully, once we get all chemical alloys and stuff, these guys are going to fall further and further behind. So basically, they're a lot less valuable to us than other units, and so I might use them for things that are likely to get them killed, like just running around and exploring adjacent regions. It's good to look around and find ruins and stuff, but after a certain point in the game, it's pretty dangerous because there are minor faction armies running around, and also other players are going to be attacking you. I'm a little reluctant, and hey, look at this, it turns out that does work. So hooray for us and our luxury resources. This also happens, so we've pacified those guys. And Pink has closed their borders on us, which is a pretty good sign that they intend to declare war. The AI usually broadcasts their intent to declare war in that way. What was I saying? Yeah, so I don't usually like to run like solo units around super late. But we could definitely split these guys off and look around. And there are a lot of games where I would have been more comfortable exploring if we hadn't been so hemmed in. Now that we know that one of our sides, or really even 2 of our sides, because they're kind of north and west of us, are not going to attack us suddenly, I'm a lot more comfortable. Do I want to... What do I want to do here? Do we want to put them in Masu Arms Garrison, or do I want to stop in Yith? I think I'd rather they be in Masu Arms Garrison. They can move quickly between the 2 cities. It's not a big deal for them to be in either one, really. Alright, let's just move on. Alright, so we want to get this settled as quickly as possible at the beginning of the turn, so that there's no chance for Pink to run in here and mess with us. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but you're not allowed to be in my territory. So, get out. Alright, the wine booster ended. We do not have enough wine to repop it, but we are now on 4 wine per turn, so we'll get there. Also, I believe it is the case that we want to assimilate the Durgeshi here and get even more luxury resource income. And 50 spices immediately. And the bonus approval from those spices will push us up. We are happy. We should be getting the bonuses. Sometimes this label does not update at the immediately, but it will. In addition to plus 50% food, that's just a really, really good sequence of events. We got very lucky with the way some stuff worked out there. So, should we attack? Oh, man. There was a 3rd Durgeshi village. That's lovely. So should we just attack these guys? Probably. I think they'll just retreat. But I think we're going to end up at war with Pink no matter what we do. Pink is definitely making moves that suggest that it has war on the brain. And so, weakening their army. It's probably a pretty good play here. Yeah, they just run. It's good for us. Deals a bunch of damage to their army. Gives us a level. Plus 12 attack on all units. We're very close to probably one of the best skills in the game for an army commander. Alright, so let's, I'm going to split these 2 up. We're just going to have a look around here. We still have a fair amount of neutral territory adjacent to us. I'm hopeful that this does not connect by land to that region, because it might slow down Purple's approach, if that's the case, and that might mean that we get to take this region sort of at our leisure. Give 10 wine and 10 grass silk to this Saratan tribe. Well, I do not have access to grass silk, so you guys are probably out of luck on that one. Let's have a look over here. It might be the same thing over here. We might be the only player who has land access to these regions, potentially, depending on, you know, how the water works out. And that would be great for us. Right, you don't have any movement left. Well, you have a little bit. I guess I can't just stand here and attack these guys at the beginning of the next turn, because they'll be forced out of our territory by the closed borders. So I suppose we could go and explore to the south. But I have no idea how long until hostilities boil over. It's probably not a good idea for my army to be so far away from the cities that the combat will be taking place in. 5 to 25 turns left on winter. So do I want to build this seed storage? I probably do. Also, man, we are really not making a lot of dust right now. Kind of crazy how much dust we are not making right now. We just have too much military upkeep. Well, some of that will get resolved when we get these units into the garrison. But not all of it. I don't really want to re-garrison. I think we want this army to run down and end up in Yith. Okay, we now have a couple of river tiles. It turns out I could use any help I can get on our dust situation. So let's build some more dust buildings. Yith doesn't really have a lot of options on that front. So we could build more military units, but I think that would probably be a bad idea. Probably what we want to do is keep building out. I know that it's going to make approval a little bit awkward for a little while, but once we start leveling districts up, it's going to be a big improvement. Yeah. I'm a little torn on it because it's not great. Like, there aren't any more really valuable tiles for us to pick up, but it is going to pay off in the end. But because this is so unimportant, I think this city could actually devote itself to dust production just to keep us solvent. Alright, so we now have dyes coming in at a rate of 3.5 per turn, and wine coming in at a rate of 7 per turn. And are there any other luxury resources around us? There's gold in Finen. Spices over here, but we probably can't settle here. Yeah, that's not bad. Gold in Finen would be nice to have. Oh, right, Morris, we need to get our extractors up quickly. That's important. They're a little bit too expensive for me to rush buyouts on, considering how low we are on dust, because we're going to want to do some retrofitting in a minute here when we get access to alchemical alloys. So we need to have some dust left over for that. Hopefully we'll get some good ruin searches going up here. Being at peace with purple is a real load off my mind. Okay, we found nothing in that ruin. Alright, 50 dust. There we go. We just need to, at this point, we just need to find as much money as possible. And because we're at peace, they can't attack us, like, in open neutral territory either. For 5 turns, ensure that you have at least 4 of the 5 existing unit classes in your Empire garrisons. That's interesting. You know what I'm not clear on? Do militia count? Because if militia count as infantry, we have a unit that counts as ranged. And then we have access to a unit that counts as cavalry from our assimilate. It's not impossible that we could get to this. It's not super likely. I don't know that I'm too worried about pacifying the Gelderus here, but 20 Adamantian would actually be kind of nice to have. Okay, see, this is... They're broadcasting here. They're signaling to us that they have some feelings. I think we ought to maybe get over here. They're not going to be able to take Moraz with just 3 units, especially not 3 units this damaged. Fortification, health will handle that. But I think I'm actually going to have these units run all the way down here and join this garrison, and these units over here can come down for Masawaram or Yith. Okay, well, there's a couple more ruins we can search. We're actually going to need more population in the capital if we want to build out enough districts. You can only build one district every 2 population points, so we might need to food focus capital for a minute, which means we probably want to build the husbandry center here after we finish our borough streets. I think we should finish the borough streets because the extra dust is going to be really helpful. How many more turns until we have enough wine? We have enough wine next turn. Okay, that booster is going to be really, really valuable. So here in Erindla, I guess we're producing military units. We don't really need a ton more, but it might be a good idea to have some Berdeki, just some things that do melee attacks, you know, to leech enemy melee attacks off. So let's just make a pretty straightforward, 0 strategic version of this thing. We're probably going to be fighting a lot more infantry than cavalry, so I think I want to go with swords over spears. And these guys are cool. So they have the charge trait that a lot of cavalry-type units have, but they also have this crippling charge ability. That means that when they get a successful charge off, they're relatively likely to stun enemies. Stun abilities usually don't have such high percentages to trigger as this thing does. It requires a little bit of babysitting, but you can get a lot of stuns off with it. Let's maybe make a couple of those. Yeah, they sure do look like they're going to start trouble, don't they? Well, we've received a declaration of war. Okay. I guess let's do this. Or these guys, they're not quite in the garrison. Well, now they are. Can I pop them out? They don't have any movement, right? Oh no, they totally do. For some reason. Usually units... Oh no, okay, the 4 that we put into the garrison just now don't have any movement. This Dakari Ranger does have movement, so we could... Hold on a second. Okay, active aggression, whatever. They were going to declare war on us anyway. What we could do here is pop the 1 unit that has movement out of the city garrison and open up an attack. It would mean that we're 1 to 4 on the table. We have way more units than they do in total, but our units would have to funnel in through the reinforcement slots, and that might turn out pretty poorly for us. That said, their stats aren't very good. While we're under siege, we can't work on our borough streets because obviously it requires us to work on a tile that is outside of the city. But maybe we just let this go for a second and then we initiate the battle properly with our hero army on the next turn. I think that's probably the case. So... yeah, we can do this stuff. We know this stuff needs to happen. 70 dust is a pretty good find. So we can see here they have assimilated the Harmonite, which is pretty good for us. I like it when the AI assimilates units that minor factions with units that are similar to their own units, because it means we don't need to consider a new range of possibilities. We've got a thing that can be equipped on a hero. I believe Ghost Force gives the whole army stealth. We're just going to try to remember to run away at the beginning of the next turn so that we don't get grabbed by these dudes. You also are just kind of running around looking for stuff. You guys want to give me a nice easy quest? Give us 12 glass steel. No, I will not do that. I think we're going to avoid these. It's only 1 pearl. I'm going to avoid those pearls because I'm not sure if Purple's seen them yet, and Purple might get mad at us for taking their pearls if they have seen them. Alright, and we've gotten our access to strategic weaponry here. So, I think we can re-equip these units, even though they're in a sieged city. What do we want to equip them with? I mean, titanium gear makes the most sense. First of all, we have a lot more titanium than anything else, And also, the non-initiative stats on it are really, really nice to have. Let's do that, and then we will update the unit designs. Titanium longbows are a little bit expensive. And the Verdeki should probably have titanium swords, although maybe we want to go glass steel swords. I know we don't have a ton of glass steel right now, and we're not going to have a ton coming in, but the extra initiative on a cavalry unit is really valuable, since their whole job is to get in on the enemy and prevent their ranged units from attacking and everything. Yeah, let's go that way. Alright, so we can update all of these units. We cannot update all of these ones. It's a little too expensive. But we should be in a pretty good position to put a very serious hurt on those guys at the beginning of the turn. Definitely need to keep running toward reinforcement. So we know they have a lot of units. And that's just the way of it with the AI. The AI has a lot of units. But their units seem to be pretty underdeveloped right now, and if we can win a couple of decisive battles here, we can probably take quite a bit of land away from them. Alright, so we're under siege for the moment. We do need to start a new research. Approval's going to be a lot less of a problem for us from here on in, what with our resources and stuff. So, Central Market is not a super high priority. We might want to take Public Granary. It's an awful lot of food. I guess our researches are getting kind of long. Let's get Alchemy Workshop. Alright. We knew Pink was going to attack. Let's see if we can't make this a terrible, terrible idea on their part. So they're going to be able to pull their city garrison into the battle just as we're going to be able to pull ours. This might have some serious long-term effects. If we were to win this battle in such a way that it significantly damages their city garrison, we are actually close enough to their city that we could run over and put it under siege and prevent the garrison from replenishing. So, what I'm saying is the stakes on this one are actually quite high. A win here for us could be a really, really big win. Alright, let's see what it actually looks like. They have no heroes to speak of. They have some stalwarts and some justiciars. They have a single dust bishop. This is a high priority unit. And then they have some harmonites. You can see attack, defense, and damage all quite strong. Harmonites are very slow moving, but they have improved movement trinkets on them. These guys are going to be dangerous. We have vastly superior range. That is our only advantage, but it is a powerful advantage. Also, I believe, aside from the Dust Bishop, every one of their troops is melee. That's a bad place to be in. So they have 17 initiative and 35 initiative. I believe that they're all going to be faster than my militia. One of you back here. There are no other spots up there, so I'll put you down here, I guess. I'm going to try to keep them off of my Hegators, who are just going to die if they get into combat. They're not good fighters, but at this point in the game, they still haven't really been outclassed yet, and they can heal us at least. But maybe it's a good idea for me to put this unit right here just to bottleneck them super hard. Actually, I do like that. Because, yeah, they're going to get to go before... Oh, my militia actually have a little bit more initiative than I was expecting. So yeah, they're only going to be able to get units to here. Notice they chose not to include any of their reinforcements. That's a smart play. If they had included their reinforcements in an attempt to overpower us, we could have killed the units out of their city garrisons during this battle, rushed forward, and really made them pay. As it is, let's see, this is looking pretty good for us. These are all forested spaces. Yeah, so we're getting forest rage on everybody except the hero, which is fine. Yeah, I like this a lot. So if we could kill both of their justiciars, we would have total control over initiative order in the battle. That is definitely a thing worth pursuing. I don't think it's going to happen. Not this turn. I think it will happen next turn, to be clear. You definitely need to run that way. Okay. But it's possible that we could two-shot them. Ah, they have one too many HP, unfortunately. Oh no, never mind. The hero hits extremely hard. And so this stalwart doesn't actually get to fight our real units, and obviously our militia are 100% expendable. Possibly the most expendable that any unit has ever been. Okay, well this battle's over. So they just foolishly threw away 4 full health units. That's going to work very much in our favor. Gotta love having the range advantage. So we know approximately what they have in the area. I mean, we probably push, right? We probably just get aggressive on them right now. Now remember, a lot of our units no longer have action points, and that's a thing that we do have to think about. But I'm definitely just putting them under siege here. We only have 25 fortification damage, and part of that is that ranged units just, I believe, have lower fortification damage. They probably haven't seen these pearls. These pearls are pretty deep. We can probably take these safely. I hope. Because if we were to lose our friendship with purple, there would be costs to that. That'd be real bad, actually. We currently have no glass steel production. Do we not have... I was remembering that we had one glass steel extractor outside of Morez, but apparently not. Okay, we probably will have to redesign the Berdeki to not be using any strategic sun. So like I said, the plan was to run these guys down to Morris, and maybe it still should be. But the urge to keep them over here for the Siege of Garant is strong. I guess they can run this way. And then pivot down there. But this way they're available as reinforcements at the beginning of the turn. Because I think we might just attack and try to go through their fortifications as soon as I can. Because we have a significant local numerical advantage, and that could stop being the case if we wait, right? As soon as their units get to use their move for the turn. So you can get as far south as this. Actually, yeah, just join those guys. We'll defend any push they might make over here. We're too far south for them to function as reinforcements. I wonder if it might be better for me to attack from this angle. There's fewer tiles in this attack box that we can't see. So we might reduce surprise reinforcements this way. Yeah, I think this is what we're going to do. You guys don't have any orders that need to be executed with particular haste at the beginning of the turn. Okay. And since it looks like we're not going to have anything to do with our dust after all, because we had already gotten our tier 2 armor on, I forgot about that. So our retrofit costs are almost entirely strategic. We could use some dust to just rush some stuff in this city, and I think that would probably be a good idea. In particular, I think it would probably be a good idea to have a sewer right now rather than later, because we're very close to being ecstatic, Empire-wide here. And I would love that. I would love it if we could get there. Also, food. Food is important. Okay. Like I said, we want to execute this attack as soon as we can, very beginning of the turn. The moment the button down in the lower right is no longer grayed out. Get that committed. You run down here. Let's see what they do. So we've got this area locked up, right? I don't need to pay a huge amount of attention to it, so I'm kind of looking around to see what else is going on. It looks like not much. I think Pink is waiting for the resolution of this. Alright. Well, let's do it. So they don't have a lot to work with. They do have a lot of bonus fortification health here. But we should be able to burn through that very quickly, especially since, again, we have a significant advantage in terms of initiative. You want to be closer because you have fewer tiles of shooting range. Okay, they are bringing everything in. Well, the Dust Bishop is the #1 concern. The Dust Bishop heals them, has to die, and it has quite a lot of health to work with this turn. Now, the Silix only have 2 tiles of movement, so we're going to make sure that we are moving these guys away as much as possible. The Militia are going to run desperately toward the Silix, but I think it's probably unlikely we'll be able to keep them from attacking us at all over the course of the battle. I don't know, with the initiative advantage and the fact that we're so much faster, well, I guess we're not really so much. I was thinking we had more move than we did, but that's right. Our archers don't actually have improved movement trinkets. All right, they're going to get to cast 1 attack here. Doesn't heal them for that much. Okay, good stuff. Oh, that's rough. Okay. Good news is... Wait, did he get stunned? No. He doesn't have any movement tiles depicted on the ground, but whatever. Just attack that guy. Everybody else needs to move away as best they can. I guess we can't actually stop this guy from hitting this Kagator, can we? Well, I could back up. So, we have our units all fall back here, and thus create a gap for him to run into. We should be okay. Alright, so 3 attacks for probably 60-ish each. Honestly, probably will not do it. By the time we've moved, yeah, all these guys, that spot will be empty. And then you've moved, so by the time it's your turn... see, it's hard to say, though, because actually their militia get to move before my Kagators do. My Kagators are probably just dead, is what I think is happening here. It is a shame. Man, do I maybe want to just ignore the sisters, then? Maybe our plan has to be to burn these guys out as fast as possible. What I was thinking was we could kill the sisters and then fall back and try to kite them with our vastly superior range. But maybe we should just go in really hard on these guys. They have 86 defense, so we're going to be attacking over their defense. This one has 1,000,000 defense, though. Yeah, I think maybe the plan has to be to just kill them as fast as possible. Hold on, let's start from the beginning. First initiative order. I don't want to step so close that I'm attackable by militia if I can avoid it. God, it's really hard, though. It's really, really hard to kill them fast enough. No, I'm gonna stick with the plan. We're gonna try to back off first. Militia, favor attacking these guys as much as you can. Yeah. All right. Try to take advantage of our superior range to minimize the amount of damage that they get to deal to our good units. Did I? Yep, I totally did not give him enough room to actually shoot there. Okay, we get to stop one of them from attacking. No, we get to stop them both from... No, we don't. This guy's going to walk... Oh, interesting. I thought he was going to walk over here and attack this unit, which actually would have caused him to also hit this guy due to the beam. Alright, well now... Now, they've kind of put themselves in positions where they're not going to get to do anything again, so... I think we are incentivized to just kill the militia over killing them. And it looks like my units have figured that one out. Yeah, okay. Because if we can kill these militia, we regain total control of the initiative order. Fortification's a lot, though. Ooh, that's a bad move. I wish you wouldn't have run to that spot. Yeah, I do not like the do not like this move our archer executed of running all the way forward into the most attackable possible position. I would say that it is a move of questionable strategic value. And I like you way back there. We need to try to maintain maximum range. So that should be the end of him. He has 96 defense. We have 100. Yeah, that should be the end of him. This guy's going to need one more hit. But you're not really in a great position to deal that attack. So you're going to get into the forest and start shooting at him. Okay, you are in a better spot to do this thing. The hero... And ideally, we would be working on this guy, but with him further back, I think the risk of him actually getting an attack off is pretty small. So let's try to focus on this dude as much as possible from as far away as possible. You should definitely back up. You are going to have to run forward to this space. I don't like how close we have to be to them. Okay, you're actually fine where you are. You should attack this guy if you can. Alright. Yeah, I was not expecting a 95 there, because we haven't been hitting a lot of 95s. It's a pleasant surprise. Come on. 13, huh? Not all of these units have the upgraded weapons. I thought we were going to be able to kill this one. Well, that's pretty bad. 102. Okay, that's that's pretty bad. So, we gotta craft this turn very carefully. You attack from the cliff. It's gonna take everybody to have any reasonable chance of killing this guy, I think. Yeah, you have range from the forest up there. That's nice. Anytime we can get the forest range bonus is going to be very, very helpful. That's a clean attack for you. You stay in the forest and get him from there. Unfortunately, the hero can't be out of range, but he can stand in such a spot that if he gets melee attacked, the enemy doesn't get to beam through to other people. So I'm going to err on the side of caution here with having everybody fight from the farthest possible range. Some of us, at some point, he's probably going to die, and then a bunch of us aren't going to attack, but that is absolutely fine. The goal here is just to, again, just to make this as safe as possible. You back here, you could attack from there. So I've had a couple of us, like, this guy can... Yeah, whatever. I've had a couple of us try to attack from positions where we will be able to attack this guy safely if this dude is dead by then. And you should just... Boy, you can't even run to a spot that's safe, can you? Alright, then you're going to run to a spot that is not safe. But that keeps this guy from attacking anybody else when he hits you. Alright, a 96. I was not expecting to see a hit for damage and a half against a guy who has that much defense. Let's see, like I said, I had a couple of units move to places that... That's actually not safe. Oh, the Kikators have slowdown. Okay. Now everybody just goes all in. We got this guy now. So that's a city for us. We did lose the Kikators, which was going to happen. Like I said, they're going to get outclassed rapidly as war continues. We lost the militia in Masuaram, but that doesn't matter as long as the militia in Masuaram, as long as Masuaram itself does not get attacked. Alright, so get you guys out, retrofit you up, and put you into the hero army. And then the rest of you are still making the run from Juarez. Looks like they are grouped up. They are planning to attack. The good news is we have enough movement to get within garrison, or within reinforcement range at the beginning of the turn. Here, I don't actually have the move to attack you right now, but we can move up. Like, these guys have all of their movement. This is where they were. They've just chosen to do nothing for the entire turn. Of course, the Broken Lords do not have any food buildings in their cities because they do not eat. Ooh. This city has a center for mineralogy. Well, we can focus that on science then. I'm going to try to have this Nidya scout their backfield a little bit. It's dangerous, but we might get away with it. So we have to decide now with this army, what do we want to do? Do we want to push down and pressure this city to relieve the danger on Morris, or do we want to head for this city, which we know is right here, and I think this city is older, so it's going to be a better take. Because, right, Garant is a pretty built-up place. They have right-of-way and Nyctalopian lenses and all the basic buildings you can want. A couple of silics, another wine extractor. Yeah, this was a pretty big gain. This city is probably also pretty big, and if we take this city, then this whole part of our empire is no longer in danger. It's going to be entirely fighting around Juarez, which I like a lot. That's very containable. Alright, we're going to go this way. Kind of surprised that was all the movement we got. We have right-of-way here. Shouldn't these be, like, proper roads? Maybe they become proper roads at the beginning of the next turn. Okay, it looks like we need to flee a little bit. I mean, this Nidya can just come home. He's not doing anything of value up here. Alright, in Erindla, we are going to, like I said, redesign the Berdeki so that it does not take glass steel. And we will just have one Berdeki who's slightly better than the rest. We're going to need a few more of these guys before we're ready to go back to archer production. Alright, we are doing very, very well for the beginning of this war. The dangerous part is coming, though. It's not so scary right at the beginning. Usually the AI makes a crucial misstep or two that you can exploit easily. The dangerous part is after you've broken their initial wave, when they're bringing up their reinforcements. Because, again, they have more troops than you do. They just do. That's how the AI works. So if this guy were to attack us right now, if he came forward and attacked us, we would get the city garrison, because this tile would be, you have to imagine this whole area translated one hex to the left. This tile's in the battle area, so we don't need to run or anything. I'm just going to stand right here and be tough. Keep them from coming back on us. They might turn south, but if they attack Garant from this side, we'll be able to defend it with these guys. If they were to attack Garant from over here, they'd probably get to retake it, but if they move like that, we'll be able to respond to them with the first Red Bear warriors. Maybe I don't want you to join up. I want you to get close, but if he joins, this army's going to have no movement, right? Yeah, okay. So, at the beginning of the turn, we mash... Sorry, we don't have to mash the button anymore, that's right. Thanks to the community patch, we just press the button once. And our dudes approach, and hopefully they aren't too far ahead of us on troops. We won what I would describe as a very efficient victory moments ago. Interesting. They headed from Masuaram, maybe? Because obviously, like, if they are, we gotta turn around and fight that. Hi! Can't help but notice that you are trying to join your comrades. Obviously, this cannot be allowed. Masuaram's reinforcements should come in as early as possible. Okay. Cowardice on their part, no big surprise. So yeah, I think we're not going to be able to push right away. We're going to have to play defense. Alright, so my goal here is we're going to capture these guys at the beginning of the turn with this army, attack them without bringing in this army as reinforcements, because we'll kill them easily. Now that they've retreated, they have a lot less health to work with. You guys, I think, probably do not move at the beginning of the turn. We don't know exactly what the situation's going to be. They could turn around and head south. I want to stay close to Mores for now. Over here, we're just going to do a little bit of scouting, trying to figure out what their armies look like. So Daramard is not a very good city, it turns out. Not a high priority on this one. So their good cities are down here then, southeast. If we catch them and start this attack... Oh, I guess I have movement left. If we catch them and start this attack, we include this guy's reinforcement, but not Masuaram's garrison and not these guys, to preserve our action points. We will trivially crush them, and then it should be very, very easy for for mostly Pakwa's army plus Masuaram's garrison to turn these guys away. Yeah, I don't think we're in any significant danger here. You should just come home. There's no sense in you being out here anymore. This declaration of war, I think, is going to turn out to be really bad for them. How many turns? Okay, we are one turn off of popping our die booster. Notice that our approval is totally murdered. That's because of Garant having 7 citizens at 7%. Don't worry about it. It will repair itself quickly enough that it shouldn't be a major problem. You're always going to see your approval rating go all the way into the garbage during a campaign of conquering. Alright, so the very first thing we want to do here is catch these guys. And this will prevent that army to the south from attacking Masuaram, because it's in the range of the battle. Another Urkan is awakening. So I'm curious what they're... Where are they going? Oh, notice green settling us in over here. Do they have weird relations with anybody else? No. Are they just scouting? I'm not really 100% clear on what they're doing. Fine with me, though. Let's have a quick look at what is going on over here. So Trenwin has a couple units in its garrison. If we were to attack Trenwin, we would just barely not get Mores' garrison as reinforcements. That's a shame. Okay, here's some tiles. So even if we just reveal tiles and then back off, the sharing will keep us apprised of what is in them. Garant is actually a super valuable region for the purposes of the sharing, because it's adjacent to like everything else they own. Alright, a second Urkan has emerged way over here. I guess it's not that far away. I would really love to get an Urkan on our team. Out of curiosity, what would you request? You would request 30 blood crystal. Well, Urkan's got real one-track minds. What about you? Still 30 blood crystal. Alright, we may need access to the marketplace if we're going to play with the Urkan, and I think we should play with the Urkan. You guys need to just come home. What is this? Okay, not a settler. So there is no land bridge between Purple and this stuff, but because Purple can enter our territory, they could run over here and settle. We could close our borders to Purple, but they would probably view that as an aggressive move, and it might make it difficult to maintain our friendship. Here's a question I have. Purple, my dear friends, how would you feel about joining me in this war? Oh, interesting. Okay, so I am willing to pay them pretty handsomely to join us in the war here. And the reason I'm willing to do that is that they will view our victories in the war as victories against a common enemy. Even though getting them into the war probably will not actually get them to help us at all because they're out of position, the long-term diplomatic benefit of them viewing Pink as an enemy is considerable. So let's give them some tech that I want them to have anyway. I'll go ahead and give them some... We'll take some more time without our die booster. Actually, you know what? Can I give them some wine? No, they don't care about wine. They would love some spices. Yeah, alright. I'd rather give them spices than dye, I guess. Because we're close to popping a dye booster, and we won't be able to pop a spice booster. We have too many cities now. Okay. So this declaration of war serves two purposes. Number one, like I said, it makes purple view pink as an enemy, which means that any damage we do to pink now is damage done to a common enemy. Number two, it makes pink feel like they're in a worse position than they're in, so we might be able to get a more favorable peace deal out of them when the time comes, if it turns out that we can't just kill them, which probably, you know, there's a pretty good chance that we are not going to be able to play this all the way out to them dying. I'm going to run out of troops, right? But we are in a good spot now. We have some good economic development going. All right, let's actually roll this battle. So, like I said, I think I am going to uninclude these guys, but I'll take Masuaram's garrison since they're not going to be needed in a battle this turn. We're just going to take this as safely as possible. I want my hero army to be available to maybe attack somebody if we can get into range somewhere else, though. And actually, I think the Berdeki is just going to play all the way back and not actually fight. That's true of you as well. I don't think we need to endanger these two. So I'm not too worried about the Stalwart. But he's a lot faster. He has a lot of movement. Okay, actually, yeah, let's try to kill him. So he's going to move to probably one of these spaces over here. I think we should be fine to do like this. He moves first. Or I move first, which is a shame. I want him to move first. Yeah, let's just back up. Right now, I'm just going to back up. Let's let them come in a little bit, take full advantage of our militia flooding through the reinforcement points. Okay, it would be great if you could pin that guy. There's a pretty good chance that this guy's just dead by his turn. We have to hope. You guys are just backing all the way up. No reason to take any damage on any of my real units. Okay. And we don't really need to apply a lot of strategy anymore. This is well in hand. Unfortunately, we did stop him in... Oh, no, that's our city, right? It would have been annoying if it had been his city, because he would have had an awful lot of defense there. I'm going to wait for these guys to stop moving. Oh, wow, they have a lot of units coming. So this is that second phase that I was talking about that is often dangerous. What are we looking at here? A Stalwart 6... who has a lot better stats than the Stalwart 2s. One more space. Nope, don't get vision. Okay, here we go. Now we can see everything. So, Sisters of Mercy with some better gear. Yeah, you can see they're equipping that higher tier strategic stuff. Well, this represents an awful lot of force. Like, an amount of force that I think we probably can't beat. But what we can do is grab Daramard very quickly at the beginning of the next turn and then try to pursue a peace deal. This is a lot of... Well, I mean, okay, so like the basics, the Stalwart 2s are not actually dangerous. Stalwart 3s are a little bit more so. So this army is all modern, more modern units. This army has one good unit in it. And this army has no good units. So I wonder if we could, in fact... Like, we could just take Daramard and then try to get peace. And they might go for that. These armies... These groups of units were pretty small, right? We probably want with these guys... We need these guys to follow us if we're going into battle against these units, or to come over here and play defense if we're going to ignore them and go for Daramard. So the benefit of taking Daramard, even though it's a pretty bad city, is that they would view this as them losing 2 whole regions, and so they would feel like the war is really going against them. We could maybe get them to tap out with a peace deal that is favorable to us that kind of chokes them out of further development, right? They would lose a lot of ability to develop. Unfortunately, it looks like they have enough land that we might not be able to starve them all the way out of the game. If we were able to break these armies down, they probably would be pretty low on units in total, and that could lead to a really big successful campaign, but dangerous. Dangerous to go for it. Titanium's coming in slow enough. Like, we're going to have a hard time building good reinforcing units. Yeah, what I want to do is get out of this war. I've taken a good city from them. Let's take one more city that's not quite as good. And then get out of the war. And then use the time of the truce to build up some more and maybe finish them off later. But mostly this is about just, like, getting some free stuff off of their declaration of war, and then cutting our losses. Get something for very close to nothing. We're going to be the ones who have to offer the truce, so it is going to cost us influence, but we have 12 turns before the next Empire plan. That is time to build up influence. So yeah, we just take Daramard really fast at the beginning of the next turn, before they have a chance to move their units at all. And then these guys, yeah, with the cliff here, there's no way they have enough movement to come over here and challenge us to get it back. These dudes don't have... Now, they have enough movement to go to Garant. You guys maybe have to back up a little bit and get closer to Garant. Right here, they should be close enough that there'll be reinforcements in either battle. We do have one more unit coming down, but he's not going to get close enough for it to matter, probably. In Morris, we probably should just keep producing basic infrastructure. Let's take their temperature real quick. How do they feel about a truce deal right now? They actually feel like it is not in their favor to end the war. Another city lost might be enough to change their mind, but also it might not. Well, we'll see. I'm committed to the plan. I already moved my army way out here. Okay, winter. This is not a great time for that. Go. Okay, we got them before they moved. Move to where you are in a good universal reinforcing position. Okay. Actually, one thing the winter did do there that was nice was it cut their movement by so much that they can't actually attack our capital here. Alright, this should be very, very easy. Obviously, we gotta handle this in such a way that it minimizes damage to our units, but that should be pretty easy to do. Everybody needs to come down here. And I know I'm standing on top of that reinforcement space. I do not care about that because the unit we have coming in as reinforcements, I probably should have just unchecked from the battle anyway. So what I want to do, obviously, is just run up onto the cliff. Alright, so you will be able to make it to here. I just want all of my units to be as far away from them as possible. We're going to be able to get a fair number of attacks off still. No, I guess 2 attacks off still. They'll be able to get in melee range this time, but I think we should now have a pretty good... Oh, you don't move until after they do. That's a shame. Yeah, we should now have a pretty good position where we can get a lot of shots off without taking a lot of attacks. Although, honestly, maybe the best thing to do is just stand and fight on this guy, since we have the forests. You should move, because you definitely don't want to be next to him anymore. And then you can, I guess, you can plan to help us. I think we should be able to take this dude down. Hero doesn't quite get there. Okay, well, we don't lose anybody. We took some damage, but we got a city without losing any units. Right, and the birds can just go and grab some pearls real fast. We probably want to check for pearls over here. And I want to keep an eye on the Urkan. So he's going to move immediately after winter ends, right? The Urkans don't move during the winter. Yeah, will not migrate. The winter effect is borders are opened. That has no effect on us at all, because we had open borders with everybody. When you are at war with somebody, they can move freely within your borders, obviously. They do not care about your enforcement efforts. Oh, this is a Dorgeshi region. Cool. To pick up a fourth Dorgeshi. Fourth Dorgeshi village. So, let's take their temperature on peace now. Still pretty negative, actually. I'm surprised by that. Usually the AI losing a bunch of battles makes them feel like they don't want to be in the war anymore. And they have a better military score than we do, but we don't... Again, we don't know that they know that. I guess they can... No, we don't know that they know that. I can't even see their overall score without a spy. They do have a lot of units. They have a lot of units. What would it take to negotiate out, like, what would I have to give them? If I gave them meritocratic promotion, they would actually, like, totally love that. That's a dangerous thing to give an empire that you know you're going to war with in the near future. We give them a small amount of dye, and actually, they're nuts for dye. Yeah, so us giving them dye probably doesn't, like, it doesn't hurt us for them to have dye. We take 2 of their cities, we beg off before the real fighting happens, then we use our expanded economic base to gear up for the next phase of the war, which definitely is going to occur. We get out of this for only 27 influence and, what, like, 2 dead minor faction units that we couldn't retrofit anyway? That's a pretty good trade. Two bad minor faction units and 12 die for 2 cities is a pretty good trade. Alright, and purple's indifferent to us. It looks like we may or may... I don't know if they will give us diplomatic value for the Daramard thing. They may or may not. And then... we would have to... No, we do not have to reclose our borders. We don't even have the ability to reclose our borders. So actually, yeah, I think it is the case that we would have to reclose our borders to them, but we can't because of the winter effect. Alright, well, you should come and get this 13 stack of pearls. Holy crap. The golden tree truly is wonderful. Alright, I think we were going to start taking serious losses here. This is a good time to end the war. Also, we stole their altar of Ariga. Now we have 2 altars. And they will be able to build a new one, but they will have to build it. That's some good waste of their time that we've managed to negotiate there. Alright, this city has very little ability to build. I guess start working on a Berdeki. We're going to need more military units. It's not, like, critical or anything, but we are going to need them. Daramard will lose population next turn. We should probably put some people on food. Wow. Everybody on food just barely avoids that. Okay, I think that was a pretty successful war. This Garant is actually a very good city. Alright, everybody execute your moves. Hoping the birds up here... Yes, they did manage to get those pearls. We have a ton of pearls. That's actually really nice. Alright, you should come down here and see what you can see from our new southern border. So yeah, they had a lot of units running around. Some of these units aren't so good. The Harmonite 3s have, like, actual decent stats. Us going to war with Pink probably prompted Pink to pick up real combat gear. Or rather, Pink going to war with us probably prompted Pink to pick up real combat gear, so that's why his units were so bad, but quickly became much better. And we are going to need to expand our garrisons in some places. These guys should probably... Right now, while Pink can't attack us, is the optimal time for us to go and get vision of the rest of what's going on down here. And also, we need to keep looking around so as to secure as many pearls as possible before Purple steals all of them. Now, Pink is actually still at war with Purple. Probably that won't come to anything. Actually, probably one of the most likely outcomes of that is Purple comes over here and crushes a bunch of Pink cities. That would not really be great for us. If we see a lot of Purple's armies moving across our land, I might still close our borders on them. And I think with that, we probably ought to end the episode. I just realized what time it is. So, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see if we can take our new expanded economic base and turn it into a real war machine. And we'll see you then.